I am Councilmember Johnson. I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. A week or so ago, I was contacted by the community about poles in neighborhoods. And I began looking into the issue. Constituents in District 1 were concerned about the large poles, different than the wooden poles that are placed on private property in their neighborhoods. So I reached out to Don Sherman at Westar Energy, and the city and Westar held a community meeting, and Mr. Sherman and I had talked about this issue quite a bit, and we wanted to address the concerns in the community. Concerns included a loss of property value, improper compensation, decreased neighborhood aesthetic, and more. So Westar listened to that and to the concerns and are ready to address them. This is outside of the purview of what Westar is expected to do. For a company to not only listen, but to engage and come back quickly with a plan of action is almost unheard of. It's a testament to the great community partner that Westar is, has been, and we are lucky to have them in District 1. So to tell us more about the plan of action is Westar Energy Vice President of Community Relations and Strategic Partnerships, Don Sherman.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I've got some great news for you, I believe. I'm competing with this lawnmower, so I'll do the best I can, but I want you to hear what we have to say. We're updating the transmission line basically to provide safe and reliable, continue to provide safe and reliable electricity to the communities that we're privileged to serve. This is one of those communities. We have two transmission lines we got going. One of them's from Mossman and it goes to 17th Street. This is part of that line. We also have one running from Mossman to Wichita State University. I'm going to speak to you on both of them. Community, we have heard your concerns. We hear you. And now we're going to address them, and I think you're going to like what we have to say. We've developed a 3-point plan at Westar Energy. The first one, I'll make sure the cars are done, so I want you to hear this good. If you're a homeowner, we are going to send you an expedited letter inviting you to contact us because we want to talk to you about your home. If you're a homeowner that wants to stay in the house, there will be additional compensation. If you're a homeowner that wants to move from the house, we will buy your house. 2, if you're a tenant that lives in that house, we want to talk to you. We want to talk about additional compensation for you living in a house with a big pole in front of it. Item 2. That was all item 1. It's about the house. Item 2, you know we got this second leg that's going from Mossman to WSU. We're going to take a second look at that and see how we can build that with smaller poles. We're going to communicate with the public, have a public meeting about it, but we believe there may be a way we can build it with smaller poles. So we're going to do that. I'm marking these off while I have a chance. Also, last but not least, item number 3. We build communities. We help power communities. We want to meet with Councilman Johnson and the community leaders in this city, in this area, to see what we can do at Westar Energy to make this area a better community. We're going to do whatever we can, but we need to hear from you. This is how we get our guidance from you. The reason we're having this meeting today is because of you. So we're listening, we're here, and we're here to help. So with all that in mind, I want to thank you for letting us be here today to answer your questions. It is a media press conference, but I'm telling you, let's get the media situated, and then let's hear from the community as well. So hopefully this answered all your questions. I also want to introduce my colleague, Jeff Beasley. He's the Vice President of Customer Operations here at Westar Energy. He's here to answer any questions. He's older than me, so more than likely he knows more than me. With that in mind, I'll turn it over to Councilman Johnson and we'll answer questions from the media.
In last week's meeting, you guys mentioned there's some bronze poles that would be an option. Is that an option you'll look at going forward, and are they more expensive?
You mentioned about bronze poles. For this route, we're already in construction. When we're talking about making a second look, that's for the second route. We're going to look at all options.
Are those more expensive?
That I don't know because I'm not a transmission guy, but we're looking at options to make sure we can smaller footprint and not have to buy a bunch of easements and widen and have these taller poles. So nothing's off the table when it comes to what options we're going to look at for leg 2. Yes, ma'am.
Will this affect your project timeline? You said you were estimated to be done December 2019. Will this affect that timeline at all?
I have not heard that will affect the timeline. Thank you.
Don, I've got 2 questions on your first point.
Okay.
How much additional compensation are we talking to those homeowners that want to stay, and how many homes is Westar prepared to buy?
The different compensation, we have no clue. That's going to be a conversation between real estate and the individual homeowner, and that's a private conversation. I mean, we have no clue, because really this is kind of a little bit unprecedented what we're doing, but we realize we got to do things differently in order to meet the needs of the community. And as far as the number of homes, we haven't set a limit. I mean, there's only so many poles, so we're only talking to folks with poles on their property. That's it.
So prior to today's meeting, you were already compensating these homeowners, but obviously homeowners felt it was not enough. I guess your reaction to hearing that there was compensation but not enough compensation.
Well, we pay the homeowners based on fair market value for the easement. And keep in mind, when it's an easement, it's not property that we're taking. It's just granting us access to be there. So nobody lost any of their property. They still have to mow the easement. It has nothing to do with ownership. So we felt we were fair in what we offered, because we try to treat all our communities the same. We treat all our communities where we pay fair market value for the property that we access for. We thought we were doing good. The deal is, we could have communicated better on this. It's plain and simple. We thought we did. We met with the previous city council person for the group. We've met with the current city council. We've been to district advisory board meetings. We've been to homeowners association meetings, and somehow that didn't work. So we're going to look at how we can serve our communities better. If something comes up like this again, where we're doing a transmission line in an urban area where the right-of-way is small, we're still going to look at see how we can communicate that better. Because we thought we did what we normally do. We didn't treat this community any different than any community from here to Topeka. This is the same way we do it, but we realize you don't know your current operating procedure is kind of out of whack until somebody tells you so, and that's what happened here, and that's why we're changing up how we do business.
Don, how many homeowners are affected? I mean, how many poles in front yards?
I don't know how many poles. I can tell you. I'm sorry, Gail. 57. 57. We heard from Senator Finney, 57 poles. So it just depends on, and keep in mind, and let me make this clear, we're not forcing any owner to leave. If they want to stay, we'll pay them. If they choose to leave, we'll pay them. That's how that will roll.
And Don, the poles are staying. There's not going to be any movement of poles, anything like that? I mean,
not on this route. Not on Route 1. On Route 2, we're going to look at how we can make those pole and that footprint smaller, and we'll go from there. I don't know if we can do it within the current right away or not. I have no clue, but we'll definitely take a second look at it.
Talk about the importance of these transmission lines and why they were even proposed in the very first place, and why is there because of the capacity issue?
Well, that's a good question. What we're trying to do, we're trying to upgrade the entire transmission system in our service territory, and especially with the Wichita area. We're trying to do a transmission ring around the city, and this is one of the legs that go in the inner city to get to major substations. Like Mossman serves Wesley Hospital. You got the 17th Street sub that serves that area up there, and then you got the sub on 17th that will serve Wichita State University. So we were trying to build it for capacity, build it for future capacity. My deal is, we thought we were doing the right thing because we wanted this community to have the same reliability as any other community in our service territory. That our intent was good. We just could have communicated a little bit more, apparently. And we learned from that, and we will learn from this.
If you purchase houses, what will happen to those houses?
That's a good question. We haven't got that far yet. We haven't purchased a house yet. So in the first transaction on this leg, we did purchase 88 easements and I believe 9 houses. And I believe we still have those houses. I don't know what we're going to do with them. That's going to be a decision with real estate and everybody else. But we are open to any suggestions.
This route number 1, you said 88 easements and 9 homes were bought. How big is this stretch are you talking about?
It runs from Wesley Hospital, and it just snakes through the community, as you can see here, down to 11th, up Hydraulic to 17th, back to west to St. Francis.
Do you know how long that is, roughly, Don?
I thought you would know. Let's see, 17th to 9th Street, I think, is a mile, and coming this way, and it's probably 3 to 4 miles, I would say.
You also got the other one that's going into WSU too.
Right. Right. It seems to be a little bit shorter.
So what is that route?
That route is Mossman. Let me do my math. Mossman to Volusia to 16th, the Gentry to 17th, the WSU.
I guess I have a question for Councilman Johnson. How concerned are you that if these houses are bought up and we have a bunch of vacant houses sitting here, that they'll either bring blight to the community or possible areas that could help increase crime?
I think in any other situation that would be an issue. I've talked to Mr. Sherman about that, and we'll be working out a solution for that so that if there is a vacant home, it won't be vacant for too long. I ran on a lot of ideas for vacant homes over in this community anyway. This is an opportunity to maybe jumpstart that.
What's the final message you want District 1 to know regarding this?
I want folks in District 1 to know that I hear them, that Westar hears them, and to contact Mr. Sherman. He gave his contact out at our last meeting. He'll give it out again after I say this, but just reach out to him. We can't get a solution if we don't reach out. At least have that conversation with him and see what you can get. And from there, again, we're listening. We're going to do better with communicating, and I committed to Mr. Sherman that I'll even go door knocking on Project 2 just to make sure people know about it so folks won't feel left out.
Final message from Westar Energy. I know the 3 key points, but is there any other message you want to let District 1 know?
I want District 1 to know that we're here to help. As you folks, some of you folks know, I grew up in District 1, 67214. Whether I liked it or not, I had to go to this church every Sunday morning. My parents made me do so. I grew up a block away from here. We're going to take care of District 1. We try to do everything we can to take care of the communities we're privileged to serve. This is one of those communities, and we're going to do whatever we can, and I'm looking forward to your input on what Westar can do to make this district better. That's what I'm looking forward to. So from Westar Energy, we apologize that we didn't communicate as good as we should. We thought we did, but we didn't. Now we know. And we're going to change the way we communicate on future projects. And I thank the community for letting us know that we missed a boat.
I guess if you can you touch on maybe what you've learned from this and kind of how you guys are going to change the way you guys communicate? It sounds like there's a couple of shortcomings.
Yes, like I said, you don't know something's out of whack until somebody tells you, and this is the case. We're going to look at, the reason we didn't have it, a lot of people say, why didn't you have a community meeting? Well, according to our standard operating procedure, if we don't change the route, we don't have a community meeting. But we only have a community meeting when we start a new route or we divvy from the route ever so slightly. This one, we thought we were doing good by staying on the same route. We knew we needed to build capacity, but the right of way in this area is so small. And if you see the pole, you see where the poles are now. They're on the street. They're actually a hazard on the street. People run into our poles every week. So we thought if we could update the infrastructure, move that pole up into the homeowner's yard, pay him or her for that opportunity. Then we thought you know what? Let's make these poles higher so we can get the lines out of the sight line of the house. We thought that would be good. We also thought that if we put distribution, we call it distribution underbuild. Distribution is what actually comes to your house. We thought if we put that underbuild under the transmission, raise it up to 105 feet, so it'd be out of the sight line, and the only thing that would be in the sight line would be the poles. And with that, we thought this would be good too, because we're able to hang the conductors and the lines into the street further away from the house. That's what we had in mind, and we thought that was a win. And so what we're going to do is look at how we do public meetings, especially in inner city. We're going to take a look at doing a public meeting in inner city, whether we divvy from the route or not. That's one I think I can safely say. I'm sure there's others. We've been talking about this nonstop since latter August. Jeff Beasley has been part of a big team between here, Topeka, and Kansas City. We've just been constantly on the phone through the weekend, through the holiday weekends, because we want to make this right. So that's the lesson, one of the lessons. We're gonna, they say you never can over communicate. That's what we're going to do.